Picture this. You're sitting on your couch, you realize you need something from the kitchen, so you stand up with purpose, walk down the hallway, step right across the threshold into the room, and suddenly, boom, your mind goes completely blank. You just stand there staring at the refrigerator, wondering what on earth you are even doing in there. It's universally known as the doorway effect, and it drives us all absolutely crazy. But what if I told you that this incredibly annoying moment isn't a glitch at all? It's actually a sign of genius.
Why did you enter this room? When you ask yourself this, your immediate assumption is usually, wow, my memory is terrible today, or man, my brain is really starting to fail me. We completely beat ourselves up over it. But here is the magnificent truth we're going to explore today. Forgetting why you walked into a room is actually a sign of your brain working exactly as it was designed to. Your brain isn't failing when it forgets a minor detail like this, it's actually performing its absolute most important, energy-saving job.
So the crucial point is this. The myth we all grew up with is that human memory is like a video recorder or a computer hard drive, just passively capturing and storing every single little thing we see, hear, and do. But the reality, your memory is a highly active, aggressively ruthless paper shredder. And honestly, thank goodness it is. Think about it. If your brain didn't constantly shred the millions of useless data points you encounter every single day, like the exact shade of blue of a passing car or the exact temperature of your morning coffee, you'd be completely paralyzed by information overload. You wouldn't be able to function, focus, or make even the most basic decisions.
Section 1. The Ultimate Memory Shredder. I am so excited to get right under the hood and show you how we actually process all this information. Think of the hippocampus as your brain's ultimate sorting office. Every single piece of sensory information you experience gets handed straight over to the hippocampus, and it has to quickly decide, is this junk mail or is this priority delivery? I want you to imagine walking into a ridiculously chaotic, wildly overflowing, messy office, with thousands of papers just flying through the air, piling up to the ceiling, completely blocking the doors and windows. That is exactly what the inside of your head would feel like if your hippocampus wasn't standing at the door, tossing 99% of those papers straight into the trash. It keeps your mind clean and functional. Section 2, Daily Synaptic Pruning Explained. Okay, let's dive into this, because this right here is the core biological magic happening in your head. Synaptic pruning is the biological process of eliminating unused synapses to clear space and increase neural efficiency. But let's use human speak here, shall we? Imagine your brain is a massive, sprawling botanical garden. In order to let the truly beautiful, important flowers grow, which are your core memories, your vital skills, your important knowledge, the gardener has to constantly pull the weeds. If the weeds of useless, everyday data are allowed to just take root, they're going to steal all the nutrients and space from the flowers. Your brain is a master gardener, and synaptic pruning is that daily, relentless act of ripping out the weeds so your mind can thrive.
Down on a microscopic level, it is truly wild to see. For important memories, your neurons are physically reaching out, connecting, binding together, and strengthening their pathways. But for the useless data, the exact opposite is true. We literally see neurons physically retracting and disconnecting from each other, just weeding out that connection entirely. This isn't just a fun metaphor. This is a daily, physical, biological reality happening inside your skull right now. Every single day, your brain actively breaks physical connections just to save energy. It's a stunning display of the brain's absolute commitment to efficiency over perfect recall.
Section 3, the brain's priority system. So you're probably wondering, how does the brain actually decide what constitutes a weed versus a flower? As you can see here, the amygdala tags memories with emotional weight for preservation. This is the secret to the entire system. Your amygdala is the emotional center of your brain, and it basically acts like a giant neon highlighter pen. Have you ever wondered why you can vividly remember a highly embarrassing moment from the middle school cafeteria 10 whole years ago, but you have absolutely zero idea what you ate for lunch on Tuesday? It's because the embarrassment triggered your amygdala, which slapped a massive emotional priority tag on that memory. Tuesday's lunch had no emotional weight, so the hippocampus just tossed it right into the shredder. Let's break down the exact biological rules your brain's priority system uses to hit that delete button. First, routine tasks. Second, repetitive data. And third, information without an emotional tag. If any data meets these criteria, your daily synaptic pruning system targets it immediately. And hey, this is exactly why you forget your drive to work or why you went into a room. Your brain instantly identifies those moments as routine and non-emotional and just deletes the data to keep your mental hard drive from crashing. It is ruthlessly efficient. Section 4. When forgetting goes wrong. Now, let's shift gears and look at the dark side of this process, exploring what happens when modern life hijacks our natural shredder.
We've got healthy, natural deletion on one side, that efficient gardening and selective pruning we've been talking about. But then, we face modern pressures. First up is the stress paradox. When you're under really high stress, your brain enters survival mode. It assumes you are in literal physical danger, so it completely halts the storage of new, long-term information, accidentally deleting important data you actually need for your job or your studies. Then, there's the digital effect. Because we constantly outsource our memory to our smartphones, looking things up instantly rather than trying to remember them, our brains adapt by becoming even more aggressive with internal data deletion. The logic is simple. If the phone knows it, your brain decides it doesn't have to.
Section 5. Hack your save button. Stick with me because I promised you some actionable, science-backed solutions to bypass that shredder and actually retain what matters.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the concept of active recall. We all read or absorb information passively, but if you just stop there, your brain tags it as a weed and deletes it. To bypass the shredder, you have to execute step 2, actively pull the information out from your memory. Close the book, look away from the screen, and literally force yourself to explain the concept out loud. That physical struggle of retrieving the information sends a massive signal to your hippocampus that this data is absolutely crucial, effectively forcing those neurons to connect rather than disconnect.
And that builds right into something incredibly powerful, the 24-hour rule, which is based on the forgetting curve. When you learn something at hour 0, your brain is already prepping to shred it. It's warming up the blades. But if you deliberately review that information right around the 24-hour mark, you completely interrupt the daily synaptic pruning process. By proving to your brain that you need this data a day later, you physically lock that memory right into your hippocampus for long-term storage. Timing your review is literally the ultimate brain hack. So, let's bring this entire explainer full circle. Here is your ultimate takeaway, the core message I really want to stick in your mind today. Your brain isn't broken. When you experience that frustrating doorway effect, it is just your highly advanced internal system trying its best to keep you efficient and focused. Your memory is a paper shredder by design, pulling the weeds so the true flowers can grow. Understanding how and why your brain hits the delete button is the very first step to mastering your own mind and making sure you hold on to the information that truly counts.
To wrap things up today, I want to turn it over to you. What is the most incredibly random thing your brain simply refuses to forget? We all have those bizarre, completely useless memories that somehow survive the daily synaptic pruning process, like a weird commercial jingle from 1998, or the license plate number of your very first car. Drop your answers down in the comments. I absolutely love seeing what weird data your amygdalas decided to slap an emotional tag on.